Today, we'll take a topic which kind of impact everyone, which is irrespective of age, irrespective of who we are. It's an important thing for everyone, which is emotional intelligence. This is something which one may not be aware of. However, it does plays an important role, and this is something which is like a journey. The more you get involved, the more you understand, the more deeper you go, the better you become. So when we say emotional intelligence, let's understand what it means. First, let's take the emotion part. So, commonly said, emotion is nothing but energy in motion, because our emotions are energy. A different emotion comes during different time, different scenario, different situation. So it's nothing but the energy moving. And because it is energy in motion, we have to understand energy. Uh, it's a complex kind of a situation or a reaction to a situation or event that involves, it could be directly or indirectly. You may be just driving, you see an accident on the road, you're not involved in the accident, but still you get emotion. You are involved in it, you get emotion in it. So it could come directly or indirectly, whether you're directly involved or not. But one thing is there that this one comes naturally to us. We are all human beings. So it involves, physiological, behavioral, experiential elements, which is, you're based on experience and observation. Whichever way we look at it, emotions, they are record of the past. That means you are having a reaction to something that has happened, and that's what emotion is. And that's why they are record of the past, whether that past is a couple of seconds, minutes, hour, years, decades, but it is a past, that's for sure. Something people carry for a long, long time, unless we do forgiveness. There are different ways to overcome and let go. But if we don't let go, then emotions are stuck in our body, and depending on their affinity, where they will get stuck will be decided. So emotion is typically driven by the hormone of stress. It could be cortisol, adrenaline, if these are kind of a negative reaction or a stressful situation. Emotions could be positive as well. When you have kind of excitement, something positive has happened in your life, love feeling, then yes, you do get the positive ones. It could be dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, all those things which reflects that you are happy. So when you get beyond your emotions, you are getting beyond your past. And that is one thing which is very critical. This way you are overcoming the past, creating your own future. So in this way, you are becoming your own guru. So why? Because what is controlling the future, becoming your guru? That means you are responsible for your destiny. You can drive your life whichever way you want, because now you are above your emotion level. And it said there are about 400 different emotional experiences per day in our life. That means every 4 minute average, we go through some emotional experience. So it is really the most important thing that we take care of it, we cleanse or we manage. You can say I cannot control, but at least we can manage. If we don't do this, just like, you take shower every day, cleanse the body, but what about inside? And that's where emotions are. They're not outside on your skin, on the body, they are inside us. And this is where the cleansing techniques typically is forgiveness, which is really critical. If it is, for years, decades, you remember somebody said something to you, or he did this to you, or she did, or I did something which you are repenting now, you are regretful, that it's no good, that you still remember and is still in pain. Pain means that emotion is stuck inside you, it is hurting. So if you remember it clearly after so many years, that means you have to take care of it. It has not gone. It's okay to let go. Doesn't matter you did wrong, someone else did, let it go. And that's where this forgiveness technique is so important to learn. We took a session on this before, so we are not going deeper into how to forgive, because saying is easy, doing it is the real thing. And we see in today's youth, a lot of issues related to anxiety. People are just committing suicide for a small thing, breakup, drugs, list goes on. Someone said something, we don't have, capability of taking care of our emotions or managing, and then we just overreact. When we talk of such harsh things that someone is doing like suicide, that means we couldn't handle it. And uh, because sometimes why we couldn't handle it, because it becomes like buy one get five free offer. Unintentionally people are bullying, and people means your friends and families, and they don't understand your emotions, and they may be commenting, acting in a way that is not supporting you. Many of us don't even know how to talk to others. And you may say, what's the big deal? We all talk. Yes. But with respect to emotional intelligence, we don't know how to help others. You're feeling bad for someone. Emotions, they keep adding. But do we really know? Can we act intelligently? And that is where this emotional intelligence comes into play. Intelligence means our ability to acquire and apply knowledge, theoretical. So you have just read, listened, but now you have to apply. And that's where the intelligence comes into play. And skills mean when you keep applying, when you keep doing something, you develop that skill. You don't develop first time. When you do something again and again, then yes, we develop that. So this is important to understand that, okay, first of all, why we are talking about emotional intelligence, what it is, and then we come to how. So if we understand what is emotional intelligence, then it's easy to go deeper and work on it. So in a way, emotional intelligence, we are saying, is the ability to manage both your own emotions and understand emotions of people around you. Yes, we are not changing someone else. We are working on us. But you have to also understand and appreciate emotions of others around you. That way you are working on yours as well. Because you will filter, you will see how we can cut down the impact of others' behavior on us if we this topic better. That means if we are able to understand, appreciate that, okay, why the person is doing what is doing, where this emotion is coming from, then it becomes much easier. So think about it. Which one is easier? What do you think? Dealing with your own or someone else's emotions? Which one is easier as in general? And different people may have a different answer, but really to forgive yourself is most of the time more difficult than forgiving others. So, the ability to understand, use, manage your own emotion in positive way to relieve your stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, diffuse the conflict, all those things you may easily do if we have a good understanding of this topic. You cannot eliminate conflict from your life. You cannot eliminate stress from your life. You cannot eliminate challenges from your life. You may reduce the impact, you may reduce the intensity, but they will come on daily basis. Just like weather, weather will be different every day. We cannot just keep blaming weather. We have to be, at a level where we can overcome the impact. So the question becomes then, okay, we have these ups and downs. Are there downside to emotional intelligence? If emotional intelligence is such a good thing, if emotional intelligence is a must to have, if emotional intelligence can help us reducing the impact of those negative emotions or things which are pulling us down, stress, challenges, conflict, that means it's a good thing and more the better. Is that true? So let's understand this. If you have lower emotional intelligence, it can lead to a number of pitfalls that can affect multiple areas of life, including work and relationship. You may get into frequent arguments if you have a lower emotional intelligence. They may have lower quality of relationship. You may have poor emotional coping mechanism, coping skills. Because what's happening, you don't know how other feels, you don't know how to handle, and then we are having conflict, we are having issues with everybody around us. So if you have low emotional intelligence, you may end up with certain situation which is, again, adding stress or conflict or issues in your life. But does it mean if we have too high or higher the better? Then it's important to understand that yes, if it is low, there are drawbacks. But if it is too high or if it is, high level, then it has its own challenges as well. Research suggests that people with a high emotional intelligence, may actually be less creative, may be less innovative. Because what happens is when you have a very high emotional intelligence, it becomes very difficult for that person to give a negative feedback. Because we are afraid that, oh, I may be hurting the other person. So you're not able to give feedback. Sometimes if it is high, people can use it as, some people are manipulative and they may use your deceptive purpose also. So high has its own issues. Too high, you have subordinates, you at the workplace, business, sometime even in universities or courses, you are in a group. In a group setting, you want to give feedback that people are talking behind that, hey, this person doesn't do this person doesn't do that. People are not talking to the person, but they're talking behind the person. And when you hear people are talking bad about you, behind you, you get hurt. So you want someone to come and tell you what it is, but if the person has a high emotional intelligence, they may not be able to come and give you your feedback because they are afraid you will get hurt. So you see, it has its own downside. So it is not that the higher the better. We have to understand and overcome the challenges of a high emotional intelligence as well. So the question comes, who I am. Who am I? What I'm aware of about myself. We are so quick in talking about others. We are so quick in judging others. We are so quick in commenting or, saying that, okay, this person should do this, or even a sports player, we say, oh, this is how you should have played and all those things. And they hardly know the sport, the person, but we are so easy. I mean, it is so common, you will see that it's so easy that you can just comment about anything because you don't need any skill to comment on anyone. And for that, one has to do intra. So intrapersonal communication is the communication you have with yourself, either spoken, written, or thought. And then only we can talk about interpersonal. So intrapersonal is you are going inside you, you are trying to understand. It is good for your own development. Once you can understand who you are, you can understand the impact of your emotion on your decision, on your judgment, how you interpret events, you will have better understanding. Sometimes people come and say, hey, you do this, I don't like this. And you say, no, I don't do this. Because you don't have fairly good idea that how are you behaving, how are you interpreting the information, emotion, the things going around you. So it is extremely important that before we get to interpersonal skill, we take care of intra part. That means you are understanding who you are, how do you, your thought process, your emotions, behavior, how you are handling your emotions, how you are reacting. And if we understand that, yes, I'm triggering on every small thing, I'm commenting negatively to others, hurting others, then I can take care of it. But if I'm not aware, I may continue doing so. That's where meditation also comes into play. Meditation helps you to go intra, means you are looking inward and you are understanding yourself better and better. So by the time it comes to interpersonal means at least between two. So it could be two or more people, but interpersonal is between you and someone else, at least two or more than two people. How do you use intelligence in interacting with others? And intelligence means emotional part, not the IQ part. Now, do you consider others' point of view, or you are just, sometimes people go my way or highway, and that's important. If you do not understand, you are not listening to others, you are missing their point of view, and that's not good. So what you learn about intra means how you are processing that information, that action, reaction, everything that will be used in your interpersonal, understanding the situation better. You understand the other person better. That, okay, this person said this, but I know sometimes he says something he doesn't mean, or I know like sometimes he's using, the choice of words and all. And then you go not by what the person said, but by what the person intend. And you say, yeah, it sounds bad, but actually his intention was not bad. And now you're able to understand the person. And if you're able to understand the person better, you're not getting into negativity. Oh my God, he said this. Okay, choice of words could have been better, but you're not judging by the choice of words alone. You are understanding the person, understanding what the person intend. And if intent is positive, you are not reacting negatively. So what you are doing, using your emotional intelligence in diluting, diffusing, eliminating that situation which would have otherwise given you stress, give you anxiety and whatnot. So now you are able to treat others much better because now you understand the other person better. So now comes a question. We just talked about IQ as well. So which one is better? Higher emotional intelligence or higher IQ? So once you start understanding emotions and their impact, you will experience blissfulness. So emotional intelligence is the real currency. So looking at the image, which one do you think reflect a person who has won a lottery? The left one, where you see a sad face, or the right one where the person is dancing, joyous, full of, you can see fun or excitement. So emotional person may not have emotional intelligence, it has to express my emotion, but what about the other two factor? So it's always me and you means your own emotion and others' emotion. Uh, and we have to be aware of both sides. You have to see that, okay, it's easy sometimes to recognize. In this case, you can see the person on the right, jumping with the joy is the one where seems like the one who has, won a lottery. It's easy to recognize. But in day-to-day life, in our day-to-day action, reactions, are we really able to do so or not? So again, the question comes, which one is better? Emotional intelligence or IQ? You may have a very high IQ. Academically, you may be doing great. Scientifically, research, work, business, you may be doing great. But if you do not have EI, if you don't have emotional intelligence, you will have conflict with a lot of people. Personally, your life may be in a mess. Hurting others or getting hurt by others, both ways, ultimately stress to you. And you will feel, oh my God, I don't have anyone around me. People are not my friends and things like those. So a lot of research, a lot of text, other publications you will find about the either emotional intelligence attributes. So Yale University in US, I mean, a lot of research. Daniel Goleman, he's an American physiologist or psychologist rather. Uh, if you go through their work and we understand that there are attributes causing the EI. And some of the key attributes, when we talk of emotional intelligence, first is self-awareness, then self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. These are the four key, you can say, the attributes. So what is self-awareness? Self-awareness means, again, who am I? So who I am, do my own assessment, I'm able to go inward. And that's what we do in meditation. We go inward. So we are not worried about others, finding faults in others or appreciating others, doesn't matter. But I am understanding who I am. I'm looking inward and finding how I think, how I react, how I, handle my emotions and all those things. So ability to recognize and understand your mood, your emotions, what is driving them, how, you act and react. And from your mood, it becomes ultimately your personality, and that drives you on a day-to-day basis. So if you want to change your personality, you have to go backward. You cannot just change your personality. So you have to come on a smaller interval and you say, okay, understand the mood swings. What is happening, why it's happening, and what can I do to change it or improve it? And that's where we come for self-management. Self-management is your ability to control, the mood impulses and all those things. Think before reacting. You are learning or you have understood or you have the command that, okay, even if I'm receiving some upsetting information, how can I handle it better? And that goes in a small improvement loop, day by day, week by week, and you are becoming better and better and better and better. Now you can handle some negative feedbacks properly. You can give feedback properly or better. And this will really help in overriding thoughts, improving your self-control. You will be able to manage your emotions in a healthy way. Take initiative, follow, through on commitments with respect to your relationship, with respect to your, work, fun, family, whatever that may be. You can adapt to changing circumstances because now you can handle either negative situation, negative feedback, whatever that may be. So this becomes very critical that yes, I understand who I am and I can, I'm good at self-management or I'm able to manage myself. Then comes the second element, other than you, which is item 3 here, social awareness. So now I've taken care of me. Now I have to take care of how do I interpret and how do I handle others? Because we are social animal. We don't just live alone, and we have to live with the others, and we have to understand others, where they are coming from. What is the intent? Choice of words, as we said, could be good or bad, but let's understand the intent. So this, if you are good in social awareness, then yes, it will help you to recognize and interpret the non-verbal cues. And communication is not just through verbal. You have a body language, you have many non-verbal cues which will help you. This will give you a chance to filter that, okay, the person said this really meant or meant something else. The body language was saying something else. In which setting, in which, kind of scenario this was said. And then you can say, no, he said, when this was happening, and you can filter out that, okay, does it really something you should consider or you should not? This way, you are eliminating a lot of hurts, either to you or through you to someone else. For this, if you have to be good in the social awareness, you have to good in one more thing, which is you have to be in the moment. And this is, something which repeats when we talk about meditation. Be in the moment. If you're not in the moment, somebody said something, you are somewhere else, you have no idea what just happened, and you are reacting to it with half information or with something that is not what the scenario was all about. Your understanding may be incorrect. And then later on, you will realize and you'll say, oh my God, why did I react this way? This happened, but you never saw that happening because you were not in the moment. So that's why, in the moment is so important, because then you can eliminate a lot of issues from your life. By investing time and effort to really focus on others, what's happening? You will gain insight into your own emotional state. That's a benefit, big benefit, right? As well as your values, your beliefs. We're trying to see, because when we act in a way and we think, okay, this is the best way, there is no learning. If you feel discomfort hearing others expressing certain views and all, you will learn about something important about yourself, that, okay, empathy is the key. So it goes in a loop where you are improving yourself, you are improving your social part, your relationship management. So you start from yourself and then you come into social awareness and your relationship management, because working with others, it's a process. So you keep improving your emotional intelligence, you keep improving your ability to recognize and understand what other people are experiencing. So you are no more just going by my way or highway. Now you are understanding the person. Now you are able to differentiate word intent, and then you can effectively develop your social, emotional skills. And that will make your relationship much better, stronger, a longer relationship, healthier relationship will be the outcome. Because now you are able to find a common ground. So what will happen when you do this? Each emotion is linked to one or the other body part based on certain criteria. And this is, we are now going chemically, biologically. So certain chemicals are released based on certain emotion. So depending on what emotion you are going through, is it fear, is it guilt, is it shame, is it pain, trauma? And those chemicals, hormones, enzymes, we just call them chemicals, they are linked to different elements, different organs. And as you can see, like this is just a part of it. It's not the list of all, but you can see certain ones goes to either one particular or sometime more than one. So that is why we say, like you may have heard elders saying during pregnancy, what the dad and mom are feeling goes to the child. How does that happen? It goes through this chain of command, your reaction, all those things, chemicals, it is passed on. So it should be, the negative energy stored in the child, which impacts the child whole life. And we say, oh my God, child is born with this issue, or child cannot have negative emotions. So how at such early age child has developed certain problem? So your problem, which you are passing it on to the offspring, that also happens. Now, to understand this phenomena, there was an experiment done by University of Utah in US, and what was done there, very interesting. Typically experiments are done on mice. So what they did was introduce cherry blossom. Now, cherry blossom, it's not a big deal. It's natural, and when the season comes, people love to go and see the cherry blossom flowers, and the tree looks beautiful. So here, what was done? Cherry blossom was introduced to the mice, and at the same time as it was introduced, they gave shock to the mice. So here, a new fragrance, is introduced to the mice, and here the shock is given. So the mice get in the brain registered. This smell came and shock came. Of course, shock is not interesting, it's not something he will remember as a positive thing. So in the mind, in the brain, this good fragrance is linked with this negative emotion, which is shock. And then it was repeated again, later on, fragrance, shock. So now that reaction gave a circuit in the brain very clearly that this smell is linked with the shock. That means whenever this smell comes, I'm in trouble. And this fear, then they observe the offspring, means the baby of that mice. So later on, when they saw the baby, same behavior they saw in the babies, that whenever this fragrance was introduced to the baby without the shock, those mice will run away because they are afraid. They are fearful of this smell. The babies were never given shock. So why are they fearful? Why their brain is telling you this fragrance means problem, run away, because it came from parents. And not only the second generation, they saw the same behavior in third generation also. You introduce the cherry blossoms fragrance and the mice gets the same fear and same running away mechanism. So what it means, this shocking or these emotions and all, they get stuck in our body and they are passed on to the offspring. And this is what, if you recall, we talked about epigenetics. This is where the subconscious mind registered the source of emotions, from who, when, etc., and all those things. So whatever is happening outside, right, it's happening inside our body also. That means the chemical, the frustration, jealousy, all those things, what is happening outside through emotions, our body reacts to those through the previous, the information, the energy that is linked. Because these things, these chemical of frustration, all those things, again, there are receptors in our body, they go, and that's how the body act or react, whatever. So these receptors are the same, which binds like drugs and all, and you become addict, like different addictive or addictions we may develop, right? It's not just drugs or alcohol, you're even addicted to sugar, salt, some people just want more and more sugary thing or salty things and things like those. So internally, biologically, that's how these receptors and all those things are working. Same thing happens with the emotions. And the more addictive we get, the more difficult it is for us to forgive others. So again, the question comes, what can we do? How can we overcome this addiction? How to manage our emotions? We live in a family, but do we have good emotional intelligence? If it is, then why do we bully? Why do we commit crime? Because if you have high emotional intelligence, you should be able to understand if I bully, I'm hurting the other person, why I'm committing, small or big crime. Because we lack emotional intelligence. We have our understanding, but not the other. So first, we need to be emotionally connected. That means the world needs to be emotionally connected, means connection is not just between two, but as a community, as society, and then it grows between two nations and then, continent. Then we can find true oneness. One has to work on it until it becomes your second nature. So it's not a one day deal. Oh yeah, I understand. And the person, you may understand one person, but you have to extend it to everyone around you. Emotions are good or bad. We term them good or bad. It's just reflection. You have to find the root cause because it's a mechanism of the system. Body doesn't say produce a good or a bad. Body just says, okay, stress means this, love means this means this, and body keeps producing the different hormones and enzymes. So if you on daily basis make this as a goal, try to understand one person better in your life. Try to understand one good thing in others. Doesn't matter you hate the person, you dislike the person, you don't like, whatever the intensity is. The more you don't like a person, try to find out one good factor, one good act, or whichever way, you start slow and then start understanding the person. Any negative thought from, that person who you don't like coming, you can then couple it with the positive one. You can say, this person is so bad, is always troubling me, this, but you understand now this person has a positive side. This all person also has something positive. So whenever the negativity is coming, pair it with this positivity. Understand that anger is poison. For whom? Not the other person, for you. You can be angry with the whole world. Not forgiving is same as, you're drinking your own poison. Why? Nothing is happening to the other person. If you are angry, you are hurting yourself. Work on yourself. Do you always hear something or you are listening? You have to hear with intent to understand. That is listening. If you're just hearing, not enough. Of course, you have to be in the moment for that. So that means going from hearing to listening, you have to be in the moment. Because your mind has the mind of its own, right? So you have to be in the present moment. You cannot just tell your mind, do this, do that. You have to tune it. Your mind is full of stuff, but are we mindful? So mindfulness, you will learn over the period of time. You have to take step by step. So you have to manage your emotions. Now the question is how? Amygdala is a small almond-shaped structure in the brain that plays a key role in emotion, behavior, and learning. When you visualize, when you do affirmation, when you do meditation, it's sometimes important to understand where it is. So physical location is also important. And doesn't mean it has to be exact, but at least rough idea one should have. It's, linked with the memories, learning, the senses. And it is linked with, forming new memories, especially the one with the fear. And this is linked with your fight or flight system, because it identified the threat, triggering fight or flight system. So if you want to be in charge of your judgment or you want to overcome the emotional things, you have to understand the temporal lobe where this whole, mechanism is. You can divide the brain in about 19 different sectors, but understanding which sector, what major part, in this case, we are talking about emotions, and also it's important to understand amygdala. It's very small, you see, but it has a huge impact. So if we understand, we can visualize, we can use this. So yes, then we can start working on transformation. So now you know where to focus. You know that your personality is creating your personal reality. And your personal reality is coming from how you think, how you act, how you feel. So you have to disconnect from your current life to create new personality. You have to change the way you think, because that's where the story starts. Because the moment you change the way you think, your action will be different. And once your actions are different, you feel different. You feel different, your emotions will be different. Emotions are different means the whole has changed. Now, you are not in a prison with your past. Now you are creating future. So people have to begin to learn information. And then you do this loop over and over again. Any new thing you learn, you hear, whatever. Now, if you can explain this to someone else, that means you have really understood. So first you hear it, read it, whatever. Okay, do it one more time. Have you really understood you can do that without looking at it again? And if you are good that yes, without looking, I can, revise it, I can understand, then you explain it to someone else. That means it has gone from your brain that yeah, I've read it, understood, comes to your body level that yes, you do once or twice that I can do it without looking at it. If you can explain it to someone else, it has gone to your soul level. That means nature, second nature. And then you can easily change your personality because now you have changed your thought pattern, you have changed the way, you have been leading. Your personality means your habits, your mood swings, everything you have worked on. Now, because you think differently, you have new choice, you have new behavior. With new behavior, you have new experience. That means new emotion. That means new chemical. That means transformation. That means, the river that you couldn't cross before, now you can. Why? Because now you are master. You have overcome your body, your environment, and time. Three factors that you have to overcome in order to change your personality, in order to go from your old self to the new self. So when you want to transform, masters, you have to remember it is not a one-time deal. It is something that you have to work on. And working on yourself, yes, it is a task. It is something that, we work. But if we understand how to do, then it becomes relatively easier. So this one is something that is irrespective of, which way we are doing. But if we repeat over and over and over, it becomes easier.